Hello there, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. I'm going to give you some important updates from three important senators. The first is Bernie Sanders from Vermont. There he is. What's up, Bernie? Also, important updates from Senator Susan Collins from Maine. There she is. Hello, Senator Collins. And important updates from Mitt Romney, the senator from Utah, who, along with Tom Cotton from Arkansas, proposed a $10 an hour minimum wage, stepped up over the next few years. Now, keep in mind that a big proponent of the minimum wage has been Senator Sanders, and he, along with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have pointed out that the minimum wage has not increased since 2009 when it was raised to $7.25 an hour. In a new announcement, in a new tweet on your screen, you'll see this tweet from Seung-Min Kim from the Washington Post. She reports that Senator Susan Collins said that the White House's discussions with the gang of 10 Republican senators have stalled. These Republican senators are now instead focusing on amendments to this massive stimulus package once it comes to the floor of the United States Senate. Now, this is very important. If you remember, President Biden met with 10 Republican senators less than 3 weeks ago. By the way, that seems like a lifetime ago in this climate that we live in. And the Republican senators, including Susan Collins from Maine and Mitt Romney from Utah, both of whom were among the 10 senators, Republican senators who had the meeting, said that it was a very productive meeting. It was a kumbaya moment. They had a lot of gushing, nice words to say about President Biden. And they said they were happy that President Biden met with them before he officially met with any Democratic senators. Well, that didn't last very long because again, as we saw from the tweet from Seung-Min Kim, those talks have stalled, and now the Republicans are going to mount some sort of an aggressive posture against the $1.9 trillion stimulus plan and say that it's full of wasteful spending and so on and so forth. And they're going to seek amendments to this plan on the floor of the Senate next week. Remember, this week, we expect this bill to pass the floor of the House and make its way to the United States Senate next week. And now let's shift gears towards two important things. Bernie Sanders from Vermont is a big proponent of the $15 an hour minimum wage. We are now waiting for the Senate parliamentarian to essentially announce whether the $15 an hour minimum wage is part of the budget reconciliation, can be part of the budget reconciliation process or not. We'll wait and see. If the Senate parliamentarian says that yes, $15 an hour is going to be part or can be part of the budget reconciliation process, it looks like the Democrats will just jam that through. And that's what Bernie Sanders wants. If they say it cannot be, then we are going to see discussions between the Republicans and the Democrats, because Mitt Romney from Utah and Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas have already introduced a bill proposing $10 an hour minimum wage, which is ironic because in Arkansas, where Senator Tom Cotton is from, the minimum wage in the state is $11 an hour, which is kind of ironic, which tells you that a lot of political games are going on right now. Speaking of games, Bernie Sanders is a big supporter of the next massive infrastructure stimulus package. By the way, that stimulus package is intended to create new jobs by revitalizing the economy. That is not going to include stimulus checks and unemployment benefits, but it's still considered a stimulus package because it will lead to new jobs. And that is projected to be at least $3 trillion, potentially $4 trillion. Here's a comment from Bernie Sanders about the $3 trillion package. It's wrong to look at the money. I think it's appropriate to look at the needs and the number of jobs that can be created. If you start off with an artificial or arbitrary number, I don't think that makes sense. But I think we have the potential now to create millions of good paying jobs while rebuilding our crumbling infrastructure. Now, these are super interesting comments about the next massive stimulus package, the future of stimulus, if you will, because I can tell you that right now, a lot of congressmen, congresswomen, Democrats, as well as senators, including Bernie Sanders, are already planning the next stimulus package because they know this one will happen. I'm talking about the $1.9 trillion plan. It will happen. Yes, there'll be some amendments to it because the Republicans will want to have their say, but they're already looking forward towards the next thing. Now, what's interesting is President Biden has not publicly commented on the size, the scope of the Build Back Better agenda, which is going to be the $3 trillion or the $4 trillion stimulus package. But I think it's very fair to say that he's going to get the support of Bernie Sanders and he's going to get the support of all the Democrats. He's also probably going to get the support of some Republicans because Republicans wanted to do infrastructure. So politically, this is an interesting dynamic where, again, the Biden administration starts with something popular, which is the stimulus package, the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, and then moves on to the next step, which is something that's bipartisan, which is infrastructure, and then uses that to build momentum for their administration. One person who's not super happy with the momentum is Mitt Romney, the senator from Utah. He's been frustrated with the fact that after the initial outreach, after that initial kumbaya moment with the 10 Republican senators and the president, everything was, hunky dory. After that, there hasn't been much communication and talks have broken down. Here's what Mitt Romney said. There's been very little effort on the part of the White House to meet with us and to see if we can find a middle ground, a common ground of some kind. Despite what I think is the accurate assessment, both by the Post and the Journal, because the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal reported on this, he said, wait a second, the data shows that the extent of the difficulty in states is far less than the administration anticipated when they put their plan in place. Pretty interesting comments from Mitt Romney. Let's continue to additional comments. We've tried to ask for an effort to get together and see if we can't adjust the president's legislation, but so far there's been no uptake in that. I think the leadership in the House and in the Senate just wants to blast ahead with reconciliation without any input from Republicans at all. And that's not the way good legislation is crafted. Pretty incredible comments from Mitt Romney, who tends to be very circumspect. Now, keep in mind, Mitt Romney is not one of those senators who goes on Fox News and then bashes the Democrats' fiscal irresponsibility, like Rand Paul, like Rick Scott, and like many other Republicans. But he tends to be pretty circumspect, and these are pretty strong comments from Mitt Romney about the current state of affairs. And thank you for the Mitt Romney quote to Punchbowl News, which was one of the sources used in this video. And Punchbowl News also reported that Mitt Romney is one of the few Republican senators who want to work with the Biden administration to craft a bipartisan plan. Most other Republican senators are like, they're not going to work with us, and so let's just bash them on TV and let's just make it us against them, and let's make this more of a tribalism moment. Because you have heard me talk about this. Politics is about timing, opportunity, and tribalism. Right now, the Democrats see this as good timing to push through a massive package. They see this as an opportunity to tell voters, hey, we did what you elected us for. This is the people's mandate. And then the Republicans view this as a tribalism moment, as an us against them moment. It's us fiscally conservative Republicans against these massive radical left-wing Democrats. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you learned something from this video. Please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me if you take a minute of your time to do that. That would really make me super happy. That would set up a confetti-like atmosphere, and that would be your way of helping our channel, and it does help out the YouTube algorithm as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Don't forget to click the like button. Bernie Sanders is going to like that. I can tell you Mitt Romney is going to like that. They're both going to like it. Come on, guys. It's an important priority to keep Bernie happy and Mitt Romney happy. Probably not. But if you can try and make me happy, please click the like button. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. I'll see you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.